friends, welcome to the video tutorial on phasor diagram for bridges part 2. In the previous part, we had seen how to draw the phasor diagram for Maxwell's inductance bridge and Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge. Both the bridges were used to measure the inductance. In this particular part, we are going to deal with the other bridges used to measure the capacitance as well as inductance both. Let us move further to study the Hayes bridge. This is the circuit diagram for Hayes bridge, wherein the resistance and inductance are connected in arm 1, the resistor is connected in arm 2, the resistor is connected in arm 3, and for 4, capacitor and resistor are connected in series. If you remember, in the previous figure, that is Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge, the resistance and capacitance were connected in parallel. Here they are connected in series. Now let us see in this particular phasor diagram what could be the difference. Rest of the part would be similar as seen in the previous bridges. Unlike the other bridges, I1 is equal to I3, that is the current flowing across AB, that is first arm, will be same as the current flowing across the third arm. I2 equals to I4. E1, that is the voltage across the first arm, is equal to E2, and E3 equals to E4. This is the reference phase, that is the phase across R. So R1 is the resistor connected across the first arm. We have to draw both the phases, the current phase and voltage phase. Both will be in phase to the reference line. So IR and I1 R1. This is the voltage and current across R. Let us move towards the inductor. We know that the current across the inductor is same, that is in same phase as that of IR and I1 R1. So remember ELI, that is LE. For LE, E is represented by the voltage which is leading the current by 90 degree. So denoted by I1 j omega L1. Again, E1 is the addition of R1, a voltage across R1 and L1. So adding I1 j omega L1 and I1 R1 will be getting the resultant voltage, that is E1. Okay. So across branch 1, we have represented the current and voltage both. Immediately write down E1 is equal to E2. We will not talk about E2 right now. We will move towards the third branch. So for third branch, the current across the third branch is same as I1. So it will be in phase. The resistor is connected across the third branch. So the voltage across the resistor will be in phase, represented by I3 R3, denoted by E3. Immediately write down E3 is equal to E4. We have both the phases E1, E2 and E3, E4. We have to add these phases E1, E2 and E3, E4 to get the resultant phase. That we'll do later. First we'll draw the phasor for R2. For R2, we know that the voltage across R2 is given by E2, and E2 is nothing but I2 R2, which is already drawn by the green line. Okay, so by default we have got the phase for I2, we have got the phase for E2. We know that the phase for I2 is same as that of phase for I4. Okay, so now let us move towards the fourth branch. The current across E4 is same as R4 and C4, as they both are connected in series. Okay, so current will be same, but voltage E4 will be denoted by I4 R4 plus I4 upon j omega C4, or E4 is equal to I2 R4 plus I2 upon j omega C4. It is one and the same thing because I4 is equal to I2. Okay. Now let us see the fourth branch. For fourth branch, we have capacitance and resistance. We know that I2 is the phase for current flowing through the capacitor and the resistor. So if this is the phase of current flowing through the capacitor, the voltage will be 90-degree lagging, ICE. So we have drawn this 90-degree clockwise. Okay. With this, we have got the phase of current and voltage across the capacitor. We'll move towards the resistor part. For resistor, I2 is known to us, that is I4 is known to us. This is the same phase for the voltage across the capacitor, for the voltage across the resistor. Okay. So I2 upon j omega C4 is the line for voltage across capacitor, and I2 R4 is the voltage across resistor. Adding these two by law of parallelogram of addition of vectors, we will be getting E4. So this is nothing but the phase for E4. Okay. Now this is E4, E3 equals to E4, and E1 is equal to E2. We need to find out the final voltage, that is E. So again we will be taking the resultant denoted by E1 plus E2 equals to E, or E3 plus E4 equals to E. I hope this bridge is very clear to all of you. If yes, let us move towards the next bridge, that is Shearing's bridge. Shearing's bridge is used for measurement of unknown value of capacitance. Okay. Unlike the other bridges, the elements are connected in this bridge also, wherein we are connecting a capacitor and a resistor in series in the first arm. A capacitor is connected in the second arm. A resistor is connected in the third arm, and the capacitor and resistances are connected in parallel in the fourth arm. Now you'll be seeing here now let us move towards the next bridge, that is phasor diagram for Shearing's bridge. Shearing's bridge is used for measurement of unknown value of capacitance. As we can see, the phasor diagram, the circuit diagram is shown in this particular figure, where I1 is equal to I3, I2 equals to I4, E1 equals to E2, and E3 equals to E4. Okay. The only difference is of notations. Here E2 and E3 are represented in reverse way, so please try to make the changes over here. Okay, let us see I1. The very first component is C1. So IC is the current across the capacitor. So by default, this red line shows the voltage across the capacitor, which is lagging the current. So we have drawn the current and voltage phase for the capacitor. Let's move towards the resistor. The current and voltage phase are in phase, I1 R1. So in order to draw E1, we have to add up these two phases. This is given by E1 equals to E2. Okay. Now let's move towards the next part. I'll again want to be very clear that these E2 and E3 have been interchanged. Okay. So let us move towards R3. I1 is the same current flowing through R3. So across R3, the voltage phase will be the same, I3 R3, denoted by E3 and E4. Again, E1, E2, E3, E4 both are known. For all the four voltages are known to us. So we'll add up these four to get the resultant. But before that, we'll move towards the second branch, that is C2. Okay, now for C2, the voltage across C2 is given by I2 upon j omega C2. Okay, for and I4 is nothing but equal to I2, which is addition of C4 and R4. Okay, now see, this is E2, that is the voltage across capacitor. For capacitor, remember ICE, that means voltage is lagging the current. So in order to draw the current phase, we'll draw it anti-clockwise because current is leading the voltage. So this phase is of current phase denoted by IC2 or I2 equal to I4. I hope the phases for capacitor, both the phases for capacitor are very clear. Okay, now let us move towards the fourth branch, that is the capacitor and resistor connected in parallel. We know that I4 is divided into two parts, that is IC4 and IR4. Okay, so let us move towards the voltage across both of them. The voltage across C4 and R4 is same, that is E4. So which is denoted here as both the components are connected in parallel. So this is denoted given by E4 is equal to I4 R4. This is the same phase for IR. So we know the phase for IR, we only need to know the phase for IC. Okay, this is the same phase for voltage across C. So if this is the phase for voltage across C, then current will be leading. Okay, if current is leading, denoted by IC4. Now we have IC4 and we have IR. Addition of these two will give you I4 again, which is the same phase which that we have drawn earlier. Okay, all the currents and voltages have been drawn except for the resultant voltage denoted by E, that is E1 plus E2 and E3 plus E4. I hope Shearing's bridge is clear to all of you. Let us move towards the next bridge, that is de Sauty's bridge. De Sauty's bridge is again used to draw to measure the unknown value of capacitance. Okay. Similarly, I1 is equal to I3, I2 equals to I4, E1 equals to E2, E3 equals to E4. Okay, you can pause the video for some time and try to analyze the phasor diagram. Okay, I hope all of you have drawn it the perfect way. Let us now see how you've drawn. This is the reference phase, I1. Then let us go for capacitor. The current across capacitor is denoted here IC1. I is known, so for ICE, voltage will be lagging. So 90° clockwise, denoted by E1 equals to I1 upon j omega C1. This is nothing but E1. We know that E1 is equal to E2. Okay, let us go for C2, that is E1 equals to E2, again I upon j omega C2. We can denote it by the same phase, or you can draw some another phase over here. Anything will do. Okay, when voltage phase is known to us, by default current phase will be leading. So drawn on the same phase, denoted by IC2 or equal to I2. So we have E1 equals to E2 over here. Okay, now let us go to I3 branch. I3 is the same current as that of IC1. So voltage will also be in phase, denoted by E3. Immediately write down E3 equals to E4. We have all the four voltages. Okay, before drawing the resultant, let's analyze the fourth branch, that is R4. We know that this is E4, that is voltage across resistor. So by default current across resistor is in phase. So we have all the current and voltages across all the elements connected across the bridge. The only thing is we need to draw the resultant voltage denoted by E, that is E1 plus E2, E3 plus E4. Okay. With this, I hope you all have understood how the phasor diagrams can be drawn for various bridges. Now, these were the reference bridges. You can even draw the bridges as per your convenience, or you can draw any circuit and try to analyze the phasor diagram for this particular circuit. Thank you.